So good morning, my people. This is Simone D again. I spoke with you all on yesterday. Very passionate, expressing my feelings about some things that are going on in our government. And I say in very disrespectfully against our people. And so one of the main things that really has pricked my mind is this government willingness to litigate and call themselves making right because a group of people were insulted or hurt, separated from their families, or treated inhumane. So the White House, Mr. Joe Biden, is willing to settle out of court with a payment of $450,000 per person, as much as $1 million. And it could be higher for each family. And the White House Assistant Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said this would put this disastrous history of the previous administration behind us. So when asked about this situation, Peter Doocy of Fox News asked President Biden about this. He said he didn't know anything about it. He lied. He said it's not going to happen. He's lying. He has a history of lying. He has a history of making it known that he does not care anything about Black America. He said they're going to put y'all back in chains. He said if you didn't vote for him, you wasn't Black. He didn't want his kids to go to school, in other words, with a bunch of monkeys. But yet we flocked to the poll and voted for this Joe Biden because we didn't like Trump arrogant ways or his brashness. I didn't have a problem with none of that because it wasn't, you know what affects me? The bottom line is my dollar, my bank account, and whether or not I'm able to take care of my family. And no one from anywhere can persuade me to do anything I don't want to do. So I didn't look to support Trump because he's a Republican. I supported him because of his policies. And so therefore, when you think back at the previous administration, think about the plight of our energy sector in the country. We was doing well. The border was secure. The unemployment rate was down at a 50-year low. And so we were respected around the world. Whether they was afraid of him, whether they thought he was crazy, but it was peace through strength. And so there was something we may not like about how much he tweeted and all of that. I didn't have a problem with how much he tweeted. I was going to listen to what I wanted to listen to, and that I didn't want to listen to, I wasn't going to listen to it. But think about our people who were brought here on slaves during the slave trade, packed on those ships, one on top of another, each layer in filth, feces, urine, stacked on one another for weeks, probably months. You're talking about inhumane. Where's the outcry? Why do we continue to support this Democratic Party? And I don't want to come against the party, but I want you to start thinking independently. Start supporting people. Start supporting policies. Start supporting platforms. Do away with this Democratic Party. Do away with supporting Republican Party and support people. Your vote is a default, Black folk. They know they can get you. They know they can depend on you, and they're not going to give you anything. Think about this $1 trillion massive spending bills. It's to give you crumbs, to make sure you get your welfare, your food stamp, your Section 8, because the ruling class must always have a dependent class, a peasant class, or a needed class. And so long as they give you crumbs, long as they give you handout, you'll keep them in power. Don't you know? So from here, what are you going to do? Who are you? Everyone that come into this country thrive. They're successful. They live in the finest home. They drive the finest car. And we're still stuck like we did when we just come in from Africa. Yeah, there are pockets of us who are doing okay. But as a people, we are lagging behind. And no one is rising up, not even our leaders. President Barack Obama, he said the reason he didn't go after reparations because the white class would resent it and they would resist it. That's why he didn't. That's why he didn't. But he said he thought that the black folks should receive reparations. And so I would have said, the hell with anybody. If I felt like they deserved it, I would not have worried with what folk thought. I would have made sure that it happened. So more than likely, if it didn't happen under him, it won't happen. I'm just incensed. I want you all to start thinking, come together, my black people. Come together. When our black mothers receive handouts from the government, dad can't be in the home. You got to keep dad separated. Long as they're giving you crumbs, the father can't be in the home. If the father is absent out of the home breaks down. When the home breaks down, society breaks down. And then we continue to be a pipeline to prison. Lord have mercy. We won't wake up. We don't see it. And then our pastors and our preachers let these folk come into the churches and hoodwink us and tell us all this stuff. Like Kamala Harris went to Virginia and made a tape for 300 churches. It didn't work. Those people, those mothers rose up. A lot of them were independents. They were Democrats. They rose up and said, hell no, we're not going to take you telling us how we're going to raise our children and how we're going to be actively involved with our children. They forgot about party. They forgot about it. Black people, I'm telling you, time is out. I have a daughter. You all have young people. This is not the Democratic Party of our ancestors. Look at how they did treat our ancestors, how they enslaved them, how they beat them, how they raped them, how they whipped them, how they abused them right in front of our black men. No one is writing us a check. They don't want to give us anything. We don't have access to the American financial system. But you know what? We'll never have it. Probably because we're going to continue to vote Democrats. That's all we know. And if you continue to do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. I know many of you wrote into me on my Facebook platform and in my inbox with very positive messages. And I have not had a negative message. And some people may decide that this is a negative message. But I can tell you this. You can voice your opinion, and I respect that. That's all I got to say on it. That's all I got to say on it. My mind is made up. I'm an independent man. Black people, stop throwing your vote away. Stop allowing people to tell you who to vote for. When you pull up on the ground to vote, stop allowing people to pass you out this ballot that's already held. I tell the people, don't insult me. Don't insult me with that. Put that shit in the trash can. Don't you ever walk up to me and tell me who to vote for, or either to suggest who to vote for. Put that shit in the damn trash can. Enough is enough. What about our children? Our educational system is broken. It's broken. Society is broken. And we are pipelined to prison. When are we going to change? We let everybody treat us any kind of way. We don't support one another. And everybody laugh at us. They laugh us to scorn. When are we going to change? We should never vote like we did in this past election, pour out as Democrats again, unless that person or that party or that platform you want to support, then support it. But if you can't think beyond a party, you're sad. You're sad. Your ass is sad. If you feel like you just got to go out and vote Democrat because your grandmama voted, you're sad. If you feel like you just got to go out and vote Republican because your grandmother voted Republican, your ass is sad too. You are. Because party don't care for people. People care for people. this $1 trillion spending bill. Guess who's going to pay for that? Inflation is high. Gas is high. It's going up even more. When they put that kind of money in the market, inflation is going to continue to go up. The average working person like me is not going to get a dime of it, but I'm going to have to pay for it. They're going to hire about 82,000 more people, employees that work for IRS. They're coming after all of us. They're coming after all of us. And all of you that's entitled to this welfare, this socialist program, if you got to be poor to qualify for it, and you have to stay poor to continue to get it, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Because the only thing that's going to do is keep the ruling class in power so they can continue to feed the crumbs to the peasants and the little folk and the little needy people and pat you on the arm. I got your food stamp. I got your welfare. I'm not trying to disparage food stamp or welfare. I'm telling you we need to rise above that. It's time to rise above that. If you're a first, second, third, fourth, fifth generation of folk, just long line of poor folks, somebody need to break that damn cycle. Somebody need to break the cycle. I pour out my heart to my students every day. I'm a passionate teacher, animated teacher, whatever it takes for them to get it. They're going to get it. But I tell you what Mr. Mo don't put up with. I don't put up with discipline. I don't have discipline problem. For this reason, you're not going to rob another student, another child of their opportunity to get a good education, not in my classroom. And if you don't want it, and I can't convince you that you need it, you can be gone. I'm going to close this video down, but I want you all to think about what I'm saying to you. Black people, we must rise up. The time is out. If we continue to do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. It's time for all of us to wake our black asses up and get on the ball and change things. It's time out. And you may not like how I'm delivering it, and I didn't ask you to like it. But it's time to change our ways. And I'll be back again. Bless you.